Shifting our focus to India now. The country is ramping up its naval defense facilities around the peninsula. It is building an undersea fortress, a sanctuary for its submarines. It's called INS Varsha, the Hindi word for rain. And where is it located? What does it mean for India? Should the enemies watch out? The naval base is under construction on India's eastern coast at Rambili. It is located some 60 kilometers south of Visakhapatnam. This is where it lies on a map. It will be spread across some 1,600 hectares. The base is expected to have extensive underground tunnels. What for? To house nuclear-powered submarines, between 8 to 12 of them. Also, the Baba Atomic Research Center is constructing a research and development complex at Achyutapuram. It is merely 20 kilometers away from the naval base. The research center will help support the base. Submarines would not have to leave the naval base for construction and fitting of nuclear reactors, and this essentially will keep them safe from the enemy's eyes. The new submarine base is being built at a strategically important location. It will serve as an exclusive enclave with an easy access to the Bay of Bengal. It's crucial for India to have naval presence in this region to deter China. Beijing has a string of pearls encircling its major trade routes. It controls multiple commercial and military bases and ports near the Bay of Bengal. It has the Kyaukphyu port in Myanmar, Hambantota in Sri Lanka, the Industrial Development Zone near Chittagong, and Paradip Seaport in Bangladesh. All these ports basically allow China to keep a close eye on India. Apart from that, Beijing is also heavily dependent on the Indian Ocean for trade and energy supplies. About 80% of Chinese crude oil and 60% of its trade passing through the maritime choke points of the Indian Ocean, namely the Malacca, Sunda and Lombok Straits. And by having a strong presence near the Bay of Bengal, China gets to have some control over the Indian Ocean. And that's exactly what India is planning to counter. It has been boosting its naval defense capabilities for some time now. Project Varsha is the latest addition. In March, the Indian Navy commissioned a new base on Minicoy Island, which is part of the Lakshadweep archipelago. The base is known as INS Jatayu. It is located off India's southwestern coast and some 130 kilometers from the Maldives. The move hinted at a strong message to China, which has deepened ties with the Maldives since Mohammad Muizzu came to power. India, you see, is flexing its naval prowess in international waters as well. Recently, 3 Indian Navy ships, destroyer Delhi, fleet tanker Shakti, and anti-submarine corvette Kiltan, concluded an operational deployment to South China Sea. This was after the Navy's Eastern Fleet saw port calls beginning with Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Brunei. Earlier, the Indian Navy deployed warships close to the Red Sea to protect merchant ships from Houthi attacks. It has been the first to answer SOS calls and has carried out multiple daring rescue operations in the region. We've been telling you about that. The Indian Navy has also been rescuing ships from Somali pirates who has suddenly become active. You see, the Indian Navy is strengthening its presence in the form of new bases, warships, and being a reliable security provider. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.